the top 3 freshman signees who could impact the 2024 season.
Yeah.
Count them down 3-1. Rustin, who is your number 3 person?
Yeah, so for me, number 3 is Jordan Ross. I think he absolutely contributes day one. It'll be interesting to see how much, because he is going to be rotating with Shondavian Bradley, Joshua Josephs, James Pierce, maybe even Caleb Herring. So when you've got that many guys rotating, it does limit your reps a little bit. But I think he absolutely is out there from the start.
All right, so my number 3 is Caleb Beasley. I think that, we all saw last year the secondary wasn't the biggest strength on our team. So they're clearing out, man. They're making way for new folks. And obviously we got Jermon McCoy as a transfer. He's going to be starting. There's no doubt about that. If Gabe Junior-Lawley comes back, he's going to be the other starter. There's no doubt about that. But as we've seen, you need more than one dude at each corner spot. And I think Caleb Beasley has enough skill that he will be one of those dudes that's, the second, third guy in. I mean, obviously you got, Ricky Gibson back there. You got, guys who will be obviously in the rotation. But I'm telling you, don't be shocked if Caleb Beasley is one of the dudes in that rotation. Rustin, who's your number 2 freshman?
Who is my number 2? No, I know. I'm just, I'm as I'm saying it, I'm second guessing it. So I believe the one who has the most impact will be Gage Gunter, not because I think he's the best lineman, but because of what we talked about the fact that he can play all 5 offensive line positions. And, we saw it this year. Offensive line depth is an issue. Gage Gunter is SEC ready right now. Maybe not at all 5 spots, but he's definitely that at least 2 of them. And they've very clearly said he's going to learn all 5. So I think just because of sheer versatility, I think it's Gage Gunter. As I'm saying it, I'm sitting here going, I really wish I'd put Braylon Staley in there at number 2. But at the same time, I mean, we're probably going to have 2 very different lists here. And what does it say about our recruiting that we have legit 6 or 7 freshmen who on a very talented roster could see the field early? I mean, these kids are going to come in, they're going to push for time. And I think it speaks to the caliber of the class. It's a good group.
So my number 2 was your number 3, Jordan Ross. I think it was 247 that ranked him the number 1. Yeah, 247 ranked him the number 1 edge rusher in this entire class in the whole country.
Yeah.
247 had him as the number 11 overall national player. On 3 Sports had him as the number 4 edge rusher and number 38 overall national player. You mentioned it earlier, exactly why I have him as my number 2. We got 4 edge rushers that are just going to just wreak havoc on people next year. When you think about
if they leave Caleb Herring at the one of those defensive end spots, I mean, they legitimately could have 5. I think they probably move him to another spot, but who knows? He might be out there.
If he stays at that spot, he would be the slowest of the 5. Yeah. But you think about these 4 dudes with the speed coming off the edge. You got James Pierce Jr., Joshua Josephs, Shondavian Bradley, and Jordan Ross. No one wants to see that if you're on the other side of the ball. That right there is enough to be excited about next year. Ricky, if you're still watching with us, I know you're excited about Nico. Everybody's excited about Nico. Everybody needs to be excited about these 4 dudes coming off the edge.
Yeah.
Because that is going to be a nightmarish situation for opposing quarterbacks.
Yeah.
They are not going to be looking forward to that. So, Rustin, who is your number 1 player that you think of the freshman signees, we're not talking about transfers. We're talking about freshman signees. If you're just joining us, the top freshman signee who has the ability to make an impact in 2024.
Yeah, I went Boo Carter, not for the reason most people probably think. It's not because of his ability to play safety. It's because of his ability to return kicks. I think he can be a day one difference maker at punt returner or kick returner. And I think he can create some extra points for us from time to time. Bare minimum, he can flip the field for us occasionally. He is electric with the ball in his hands, and I think he's going to shock people at how much he can create on returns. It's different when you watch it. It's like, why can literally no one tackle him? I mean, you're watching him escape from 4 and 5 people, and you're going, how in the world did he even, like, how's he still standing? It's a very different thing to watch him return kicks.
And to your point, those 4 or 5 people he's getting away from is high classification football in Tennessee.
Yeah.
He made Maryville look like a JV team. And we're talking about Maryville, I mean, the guy is just a phenomenal athlete, Mr. Football in the state of Tennessee in his classification. So we did not talk about this as far as like who we're going to put for our people before. Boo Carter was also my number one person on the list of who could potentially impact the 2024 season. And it's the exact same reason Rustin said, because I think he's going to be returning punts. D. Williams is not returning and to the team. And, I think Boo Carter is going to step right in and take over for him, because Rustin he used a great word to describe Boo. It's different when he's different when he's returning punts. So, I think on punt returns, I think you'll see him back there. I think on kickoff returns, I think you'll see Cam Selden and Boo Carter back there. I think he's going to be on the field every single game in those roles, which is why I put him at number one if somebody who's going to make an impact on this upcoming year. Now, what's interesting about that is this. If by some chance you saw the VolQuest's 2-minute drill after Heupel's press conference yesterday, they actually mentioned Boo Carter by name. Austin Price did. And Austin Price said that Boo Carter is already impressing people in practice. Okay, he's only been there since Saturday. All right. So if they practiced every single day, that would be Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, 4 practices. So 4 practices in, and that's if they practiced every single day, and he's already impressing people and turning heads. I mean, the kid's different. I mean, that's just a rare athlete. And so I think you'll see him on the field. And I think that's why he's the number one as far as potential impact for this season. Now, I invite everybody to consider the names that neither one of us had on there. Neither one of us had Mike Matthews on there. Mike's one of the highest rated players in this class. But when you look at who we have in the receiver room, you got to be thrilled that we're sitting here thinking that a 5-star may not even step on the field in the first, of the 9 guys in that room, he's not, in the top 2 or 3. He's farther down the list than that. Where on that list? I guess we'll find out. I think he'll probably beat out Chaz Nimrod and Caleb Webb. But is he going to beat out Brew McCoy if Brew returns? Is he going to beat out Squirrel White? Is he going to beat out Braylon Staley for that matter? Is he going to beat out Dante Thornton, Chris Brazel?
Is he going to beat out Nathan Leacock, a year older and a year stronger? I mean,
yeah. So, I mean, there's just that's a good thing that, we have a plethora of riches there in the wide receiver room. We just got to get the ball to him. And so that's where, Nico comes into play.